Hi guys, and welcome to OG Cars. You join Sam, who you would have seen in the Wartburg video when I encouraged him very much to buy a red Rat and Drive Wartburg night. I'll put the link in the description to that below. We've got Hudson with us, who won't sit still. Andy's with us behind the camera as well.
Hello.
And yeah, we're going to have a look at some of Sam's bits. And there are some Eastern Bloc cars, so stick around for that. But we've got some tractors. I don't know much about tractors, so Sam's going to have to talk to us about these. But Sam, what is this?
Right, these two Fords and Super Dexters basically that were used on the farm a lot 30, 40 years ago and have been either outdoors or in sheds since. But I was saying that this one was my little project that I've kind of stopped for the time being and should get back to. And I don't think there's actually much wrong with it other than doing bits to the water pump and the front end. So in theory it would run and drive, but I haven't tested that yet.
But I've been told it's been parked here since the mid-90s, so it's been in between, but hasn't run under its own power since the 90s. We're going to see a few tractors which probably haven't run since then, or even longer. So yeah, let's have a little look. This one here is probably one of my favourites, and it's parked in this downhill position, so it can actually bump start itself, I hear, as well. What is it?
So this is, I think, a 1983 Dave Brown 1490. And yeah, like Owen said, the starter motor packed up a couple of years ago, so it just gets perpetually parked on hills.
I'm told it's mostly working, so you use it occasionally, don't you?
Yeah, we use it as a loader tractor, but to get to the starter motor and everything, it needs the brackets taken off.
Can you not?
Now it's sort of been replaced as a loader tractor a bit. Hopefully this summer we can do some work to it and make it start on the button and not on the hill.
Sounds good. And now we see something I didn't expect to see in a hedge and quite covered in quite as much overgrowth as it is. It's what, R-Reg Peugeot partner. What's the story with this one?
So we've had this nearly from new. I think it was an ex-demo or something like that, but sadly it failed its MOT on quite terminal rust about 10 years ago, and it hasn't got better since.
Yeah.
But I want the 1.9 diesel engine out of it to go in one of my 205s eventually.
Yeah.
But the 205 won't kill itself fast enough, so it might never get it, who knows.
Is this 1.9 turbo?
No, this is just naturally aspirated.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. There we go. Right, this one's all Sam. I know nothing about this one apart from I think you said it's Fordson based, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is a Bray loading shovel. I think Bray mainly did conversions on Nuffield tractors, but this one is based on Fordson Nature. And it was the farm's main loading shovel back in the 70s, I want to say 70s or 80s.
It's been parked here since the 80s then?
No, it's moved about a bit, but I can't remember this one ever going. Yeah.
I mean, it looks fairly solid on the big chassis parts, but the other bits are certainly starting to fall apart, aren't they? The rust is certainly taking hold a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad because the front end's fine as well.
Yeah.
Pieces,
oh, there you go. The front end's fine, at least. Okay, so we've just joined the Trabant, which you guys may recognise from the NEC. So Sam's going to try and start that now, so that's going to be a fun part to this video. There's another Massey in front. Quickly, what's that one as well?
That's a 65, which was the farm's main tractor, probably 70s and 80s.
Yeah, so it's had a good innings. And is it still working now?
Yeah,
or it is, isn't it?
It was dormant for about 10 or 15 years. Maybe 20, and we sort of revived it, and now it does bits and pieces.
There we go, and it's got this trailer on it as well, so let's see if this Trabant starts.
She's on reserve.
I'll get G to do a quick pan on this one, but we've spent a little while getting all of these cars and bikes all together. We've got the bicycles, we've got the cars, the trailers, and the motorbikes as well. So we're going to start down this end, aren't we, Sam? What have we got here?
So this is a Polish folding bicycle. It's Universal, which was sort of the export brand, but it's actually a Romet Wigry Deluxe, which is a brilliant name.
That is a brilliant name.
And that was the counterpart to this one, which we had at the NEC in November.
I think we had a video of us riding along at the NEC as well. The MIFA, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a MIFA 903, which was an East German version, which I'm told is rare in this country because they never exported.
This one?
That's another MIFA, that's a ladies' bike, and that's an early 90s one, I think. And I bought that off a German person living in the UK who'd had it as their student bike in Munich.
That is a cool little thing to have, to be fair,
That's got most of its history with it.
And now we'll hop onto the cars. So this Skoda was actually your first entry into Eastern Bloc cars, wasn't it? So what have we got?
So this is a Skoda 110L.
Yeah.
It has the front end that came on the 110LS or the 110R, and I think that's because it was originally from Belgium, so it was a dealer fit optional extra, so it doesn't have the slightly sportier engine, but it's got the
sportier front end.
Yeah. So I bought this on eBay when I was looking for any random Eastern Bloc car, and this came up, and I knew nothing about rear engine Skodas, but bought it, and now I know too much about it. So this started everything, but almost everything I bought since has been East German.
Yeah.
So
it's a bad gateway addiction, everyone.
Yeah.
I could probably say a bit more about this one. This was my Wartburg night ride and drive initially. I bought this one and an orange one, a mandarin one, out of a barn in South Wales, and it went to Stuart. I sold it to him. I don't think he did too much of it, but did he get it running as well?
I can't remember if he got this one running or not. He did some things to it, and then I immediately got it running after we got it back. So I think whatever he did, either it was running or it helped.
I'm sure he had it running. I'm sure he had it running. But basically, it came up for sale. Stuart has a few other projects as well. So there's a video of us picking up this car, as I mentioned. That will be in the description. That little escapade up to Scotland and then back down there. Little trip. Cross country, and just here it is, and it works, but I think it needs a bit more work, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I got it running and driving under its own power. It didn't have any brakes, so I bought a new brake system for it, and then when it came to moving everything out here, it wouldn't start, and I think there's dirt in the car, so I've got a rebuild kit for that, but I also need to take the head off and do bits and pieces and
there's a little bit
of stuff.
Yeah. And now you join us with the Trabby. Now I'll let Sam say a bit more about this one. Obviously, again, we saw it at the NEC and it's just ran and drove here. But tell us a bit more about this one.
Basically, this was my second Eastern Bloc car, and it was bought through the Wartburg IFA Trabant Club, and the previous two owners had been members in that, and before then it came from Hungary in 2016. And because it's painted black and was imported about then, I think it was imported by the film company that did The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yes.
But from scouring every single frame of the film, it never got any film time. So whether it actually was a film car or not is up for debate. But they never came in black, so it's been messed around with a bit. You've probably seen the clip of it running off the trailer, and I'd like to defend it by saying it runs better than that. But it was all packed up from the NEC, which was a couple months ago now. It's not even
ran since the NEC, to be fair.
No.
That was its first start since then.
In 2 or 3 months.
It's done pretty well.
And once it's run, it evens out and will idle without the choke, and it's a bit better than it sounded there. But it does need a bit doing to it. It needs welding on both sills and a few bits and pieces, and on the rear suspension.
And now we have a series of old DDR trailers. What can you tell me about this one?
This one was the first one I bought, and it's basically the same as that, which is the most recent one. They're HP 350s, which means they've got a 350 kilo payload, I think. And they were designed really to be able to be towed by the Trabant, Wartburgs, and anything else Eastern Bloc as well, really. So that one's quite a nice original one that's been dry stored its entire life. I don't really know whether to repaint it or not, because it's got all the nice stickers. However, the Australian sticker kind of throws off the...
You're not sure it's authentic?
No, some of the others look quite nice, but it might have travelled to France and Belgium.
That's a nice sticker there, isn't it? It's a nice original.
So I don't know whether to keep them or not. And this one, It's basically the same thing, but it's been quite heavily modified by a previous owner.
Yeah,
And
I quite like them.
I mainly bought it because it's got the original high top frame for these, so that's going on this one, I think. Yeah. And then I don't know what I'll do with the rest of the trailer, whether I'll strip it for spares for this one or sell it.
Okay, so we come to the last trailer, and you say this one has a slightly different chassis design, isn't it? Tell me about that now.
Yeah, so this is a HP 401, I think, so it's got a 400 kilo, slightly heavier weight rating, and for some reason the chassis sort of kinked like that, which does help it tow, I think. It towed quite nicely when I brought it back, but now it's obviously in bits, and I've got new wood to rebuild the body of it, and that'll be a little camping trailer. That'd be cool. By this summer, hopefully. And you can stick it on the back of the Trabant when that's fixed as well. Yeah. And to finish off the Eastern Bloc vehicles, we have these two MZs. I think you said they're TS150s, aren't they? Yes.
Yeah. Tell us about these two.
Right, so this was my first one, which I bought quite cheap, and someone sort of tried to do like a cafe racer finish to it and didn't seal the tank, so it's gone all rusty, but I want to repaint it anyway. Yeah. At the moment, basically, I'm rebuilding that one's engine to put into this one with a 125 barrel and head on, so I can ride it on L plates. Yes. This is a slightly later one. You can see the changes in the mudguard and bits and pieces. So in the end, that engine will go back into that one. This one, I think I'll paint yellow, and if all goes well, it will be done by March and at the NEC. So we'll see about that. Well, we'll hold him to that. At the NEC, we'll see if we have a nice yellow MZ as well, yeah. Go for it. Okay, so we've just walked over here because Andy and G have decided to warm up in the car. We're about to head for lunch, but we just wanted to see this one last tractor. So this is my 1951 FAR D17. Which is looking really sorry for itself, and out of all the tractors, I think this is the one that hasn't worked for the longest. So it's been here for about and not moving, not running for probably 50 years. It might have been shunted around, but I don't think it's moved under its own power for that long. Yeah, and I mean, I was going to say, you can literally see stuff is growing through it now in places, and it's got this little bit of moss on the front. I need to do something about that and get it in a shed, really. But I did start doing work on it. I took the head off, and it was C-solid, so I poured diesel down the bores, and I think it's now running past the rings, so it should be able to unseize. The trouble is, you'd need a donor one that would be better than the actual one, or lots of trips to Germany for parts, so we'll see. Yeah. Okay, we're going to finish up in a moment, but we're just going to get the trailer moved. So Sam, go on, show me how this one goes. Very good, very good. Well, I'd like to say a massive thanks to Sam for letting us come down and have a look at everything here. I've not actually seen it all in one place, so it's really cool to see it all. So again, big thanks to him, and big thanks to all of you for watching this video, guys. We really hope you have enjoyed this one. And yeah, if you wanted to see any more Eastern Bloc cars, there's plenty on this channel, so please go back and have a little look. Thanks for watching, like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next one.